K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
In these uncertain economic times, you've got to do whatever you can to save money. One of our biggest expenses can be our expected repair bills hit. Not anymore. If you own a vehicle with less than 130,000 miles, is less than 12 years old, has a warranty about to expire, or even no warranty at all, you could stop paying for car repairs. Roadside assistance, towing, and rental coverage are all included. Don't wait for the next repair. Make one free call right now to see if you qualify. If your vehicle is less than 12 years old, has less than 130,000 miles, even if it's out of warranty, paying for car repairs can become a thing of the past. Call us right now and get your car protected before your next repair bill hits. Get protection and no more repair bills. Call 800-696-1030. Again, 800-696-1030. That's 800-696-1030. 800-696-1030.
Joe had huge problems with the IRS.
I knew it was coming. I hadn't filed taxes since 1990.
All the IRS letters coming in added up to a nightmare.
It got up to like $68,000. My heart started beating fast. It's like, there's no way, man. I mean, I ain't going to be able to do this.
Then they stopped his paycheck.
So that's when I started making phone calls and found U.S. Tax Shield.
U.S. Tax Shield went to work immediately.
They just took the bull by the horns. What blew my mind is he called the IRS right then and there.
So why is U.S. Tax Shield A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau? Joe knows.
They saved me a ridiculous amount of money.
If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS or state, choose the company Joe chose, U.S. Tax Shield.
It was the best decision I made. U.S. Tax Shield is the way to go. Life is good. Thank you, Lord.
Call 800-471-3287.
U.S. Tax Shield. Boo-rah. Yes.
800-471-3287. 800-471-3287.
Game on, where progressives fear us and rhinos tremble. Welcome to the political jungle. I'm JD.
This is Stacey. No one is safe. No one is spared.
Lock up the children.
And the old folk.
Welcome to the world of liberservative conservatarians.
We're back. Good Sunday morning, May 15th, 2016, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. JD and Stacey, game on, part of that Conservative Commandos radio network here on that K98 Talk. Welcome back to all our political geeks, freaks, and back alley sneaks. Everybody right now within the sound of my voice, you know exactly what to do. Get over to K98Talk.org, get in that chat room, say hello to the up in the morning, earliest putting bourbon in their coffin, baby. Tell Ron to put his pants on, oy vey schmear, radio listening audience in the business. JD and Stacey, baby. Yo, radio escape hatch. Hi. How you?
Oh, it's early today.
Ooh, my girl. You know what, though, baby? It's our job to wake everybody up now, isn't it? Diamond Dave, baby. He's even giving us some music on the intro. Good morning, truckers, suckers, and bad. This morning we're going to be talking Hillary feeling to burn and can't put away Uncle Speedo, war drums in the South China Sea, baby. Weekend update by that Mr. Eric Williams at that barbedwiresatire.com, baby. Nonsense in the world and more. Remember, guys, we're not just here live for God knows what reason. Every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Game On, part of that Conservative Commandos Radio Network here in that K98 Talk. Stacey and I love you all so much. We do it again Tuesday nights, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we don't speak to each other for the rest of the week. And then on Fridays, guys, we are the drive time lead in 5 p.m. Eastern Standard at WNJC 1360 a.m. Serving that Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware. Sam Bradford trying to get back into Philly. What do you say, Philly? Tell Sam to go take a hike. Remember, guys, get over to Facebook. Find that JD and Stacey page. You like it. You go find 10 friends. What you do after that, that's all on you. But you get them to like the page, too. Website up and coming after the show, Hooples, not during it. You get over to Spreaker.com, #Brown, JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Find out a catalog of everything we've been doing here with that Riggy Ticky Tappy Rick Robbins and that cantankerous Rick Trader. And I've always my beautiful and brilliant co-host, Miss Stacey Lennox. Good morning, baby.
Good morning.
Okay, we done. Can I go back to bed now?
All right.
Okay, terrific.
Great. Just talk about stuff, and then we'll go from there.
I am going to be so glad when this election is over.
What election?
Yeah, that.
You don't know. Oh, you know what? I didn't tell you my idea. Okay. So this is how you and I are going to – we're going to be covering a national election, but we're not going to do it here in the States. I've gotten sick of this. What we're going to do is we're going to go over to the plains of Africa. And we're going to be covering the race of Chief Mabumbu Fufuso 5 and his challenger, wannabe Chief Mambufu Faso the 7, Umbuli, eh.
Oh, God.
I honestly think that would be more fun and productive.
Okay, terrific.
That song, The End of the World as We Know It, just keeps going through my head.
Oh, good Lord. How's your weekend so far, baby?
How what? I'm sorry?
How's your weekend so far?
Oh, busy. Made some, really great sandwiches last night. I'm gonna have to give the group the recipe. No, I'm serious. The highlight of my weekend so far was these sliders I made. It was awesome.
I bring nothing to the table.
You know you're getting old when you're like, hey, how was your weekend? I made sandwiches. Oh, my God.
You know what? I have no problem getting old.
Was there a fireworks display with said sandwiches?
No.
Okay, terrific.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, the reason you tune in here Tuesday morning, we're going to be bringing you that weekend update for the weekending, stop, write it out in words, for the weekending May 15th, 2016, by that Mr. Eric Williams at that barbedwiresatire.com, baby. Government records show that immigrant-headed households use 41% more in welfare benefits than native-born welfare recipients. The worst part of this welfare imbalance is that because most refugees don't drink, the disparity is threatening to cripple. You can't put the word welfare 5 times in the same sentence, Williams. Lennox?
Yeah, I'm sorry. There was a whole other sentence there. Hillary tweeted this week that she would defend any American Donald Trump attacks. Soon after, Paula Jones, Kathleen Willey, and Anita Broderick said in a statement they wish Trump had sexually assaulted them years ago instead of Bill, so they could have gotten some help from Hillary.
I need a shower. Gwyneth Paltrow is in the news for hawking a $15,000 gold-plated sex toy and non-toxic lube and promoting her new magazine called Goop. Jesus Christ, this really happened. When Hillary heard about this, she said it sounds like a huge waste of money. In fact, Hillary claims I can't make a joke here. JD will complete on air anyway. Where is he, Williams? That is awesome. Oh, my God, he just made my whole week.
Speaker Ryan and Donald Trump hooked up on Thursday to consummate their political relationship. RNC Chairman Reince Priebus wouldn't go into detail with the press about exactly what went down because of the intimate nature of the coupling, but did say it was too early to tell if there was a full-blown bromance between the two.
George Zimmerman is trying to – nobody's killed this guy yet. George Zimmerman is trying to auction off the gun he killed Trayvon Martin with. Let me tell you something. If he auctioned that with a limited edition can of iced tea and Skittles –
God.
George Zimmerman is trying to auction off the gun he killed Trayvon Martin with. He's advertising it as barely used 9mm Kel-Tec used to fire the bullet known as the shot heard round the complex. Oh, God, send all the email to Eric Williams. Slight discoloration in spots due to contact with Skittles responsible for starting the Martin and helping Trayvon taste the rainbow. Holy Christ, I got to go to church. He didn't write that. The hell is wrong with you, William? Good God. I thought I had problems. Jesus, go ahead. Hurry up, lady. Let's go. Come on.
Jermaine Himmelstein, known as the Free Hugs guy in Times Square, was arrested after punching a 22-year-old woman when she refused to tip him after a hug. Hugs told police he had workshopped Free Punch in the Face guy, but it didn't test well. However, he maintains any and all assault and battery he provides is free and from the goodness of his heart.
President Douchebag threatened all public schools with holding back federal money if they don't let any boy or girl who identifies as the opposite sex use the locker room or bathroom of their choice. Knowing the vast majority oppose his decree, Obama has gone from telling the American people, don't ask, don't tell, then to don't care, go to hell.
A Russian man is scheduled to become the world's first head transplant patient in 2017. An Italian surgeon is leading the operation team and is convinced the surgery will be successful, but most doctors disagree. They say the side effects may lead to the worst case of insanity ever imagined. One doctor said he may even become a Trump supporter.
And that's your weekend update brought to you by that Mr. Eric Williams at barbwiresatire.com, baby, for that weekend in May 15, 2016. You know, whenever Williams has a slow week, he comes roaring back the next one with racism, dead teenagers. Good God.
Well,
you know what? He's talked about having rim shops with this. No, this is going to be Eric's sound
Hey, where are the white women at?
God.
Oh, my God, that was funny. Hold on a second. I have to hit the audio on my bubble here. 1 second. Okay. So have I missed anything in the last 48 hours? Has anybody killed Trump? Has anybody dropped out? Or is it still the same Michigas we had on Friday?
No, we actually saw that he might have created a troll account to troll Sherry Jacobus, but that was pretty funny. The account's deleted now.
Oh, that was Mr. Miller.
That was Mr. Miller.
Everybody confuses Mr. Miller with yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What a jackass this guy is. Although I will tell you something, he has reignited my desire to make prank phone calls.
Oh, God.
So, you know, with all the nonsense and chicanery and everything else going on the right-hand side of the aisle, I really think it's time to speak about the fact that regardless of how it's being portrayed in the media, there is much more, believe it or not, disarray on the Democratic side in their primary right now than there is on the Republican by far. And why is that? That is because everybody's favorite Empress of Chappaqua cannot put away Uncle Speedo.
Boom, boom, boom.
Now,
and that music is the reason why.
Yeah.
Just think about that. No, think about it.
I want to hear
okay.
this. I need to hear this.
Hillary's music is dark and awful and just ugh. And Bernie's is light, funny, approachable. You know, I mean, I'm sorry. I like Bernie Sanders. I could never vote for him, but I like him.
How could you not? All right. If you and I walked into a bar, right, and you got a lawn, maybe it's one of those. We'll put it up against the side of the place. So it's one of those 15, 20-foot long bars. You got two bartenders working there. At the end of one bar is Cankles. At the end of the other one is Uncle Speedo. Okay.
We're going to go sit with Uncle Speedo.
Well, hold on a second. If you and I walked up to Cankles and was like, hey, listen, lady, smacked her on the ass. Hey, you want a shot or something? Right? Now, you go to the other end of the bar, and you're like, excuse me, Uncle Speedo. And he turns around, and he's just like, boom, boom, boom.
Yes, nice-looking people that I would like to convert to socialism. How may I help you?
Well, no, Uncle Speedo, we'd like to hang out and buy a drink.
This is fantastic. Let me tell you something. The service here is it's a little slow. I will have whatever you are having for me, and while they are making the drinks, let's go outside and smoke some of Vermont's finest marijuana.
Good God.
But if you take a look, I'm kind of torn, and for all the talk that there has been that the Republican base of the Republican Party itself is splitting apart, nobody believes in the planks and the leadership, and there's such infighting. If the Democratic primary was structured the same way as far as their delegates go that the Republican primary was, you would have right now a neck-and-neck race that made how close Ted Cruz and Donald Trump were look like they were miles apart. And it's something that you're not hearing a lot in the media. Now, when you take into account, I think this is, Stacey, do you know, I think this is just the pledged delegate number. The pledged delegate number right now between Uncle Speedo and Hillary is 1716 and 1433. What I'm not sure about that number is I'm not sure whether or not that number includes the superdelegates.
I believe the superdelegates are in the unpledged, and she has 1717 and 505 unpledged for a total of 2,222.
Okay, so now that I'm glad you said this. So now that we've stripped that out, if you take the superdelegates aside, this race right now, pledged delegates, is Hillary Clinton 1716, Uncle Speedo 1433. Now, this woman has been wanting to run for president since the early
She was
90s.
5.
Right, so let's make it 25 years.
Since she was 5?
Yes, she is a bad retail candidate. She just is. And she is having a problem here in this primary, putting away almost 80-year-old pot-smoking socialist from Vermont who didn't have his first real job and paycheck until he was about 40 years old. And we are not hearing this in the press at all. Why is this? Maybe it's the fact that if you stop allowing the press to be the Praetorian Guard for this piano-legged fat lion thief, the hit parade at the top of her issues right now that are unresolved, not old news, that are currently dogging her, the Clinton Foundation and that slush fund, Benghazi, the fact that Uncle Speedo is basically running in what some people are calling the FBI or the indictment primary.
Yep.
Stacey, I don't think we need to speak about why we're not hearing about this in the press, but let me ask you a question. They are as divided as the Republican Party, but do you see them having the ability to come together easier in November?
Absolutely, because of who our nominee is. If you look at some polling that's been done recently, USA Today has been doing some regular polling, and it changes, quite a bit. But the one thing that has not changed is that people in that millennial age group will absolutely vote for Hillary Clinton over Donald Trump. And if you think about the election in 2008, that age group is what put Barack Obama over the top. I think there's a level of enthusiasm in that group, but they're also testing for people who are going to stay home. There is not as large a percentage on the Democratic side that say they will stay home. Also, a much smaller percentage of Democrats are saying they will vote for Trump versus Hillary than Republicans. There's 1 in 5 Republicans are saying in these particular polls that they will vote Democrat.
And folks, I know that everybody is torn in this election cycle inside the GOP, and I hear from a lot of our listeners, a lot of people who follow us on social media, that they are torn between honestly needing to vote their conscience, their soul, and their heart and not support the Republican nominee and say, maybe it's Austin Peterson or Gary Johnson or somebody within the Libertarian Party I'm more inclined with, or maybe I'm going to write in Ted Cruz and vote down ballot. Whatever you do, you need to make sure that you arrive to that decision on your own. Because if you take a look from the outside looking in, the media right now is basically allowing a shield to be up, and they're basically burying the lead that America's honestly probably best retail politician in its history, Bill Clinton, who has been brought out as a surrogate for his wife.
And not doing a very good job.
No. And what I think you don't hear enough of is, for all the problems that there are within the Republican Party, think about what conservatives are standing up for. It's because their nominee is refusing to support planks that are basically institutionally inherent to the Republican Party. So you have people on the right that are basically having it out, yes, through personality, through some degree, but a lot of it has to do with policy. No, I can't support this man because he believes in this and I believe in that. Think about how it's playing out on the left, where on the right you have different ideas, whether it's a consumption tax, a flat tax, a fair tax, the penny plan, Cruz's tax plan, Trump's tax plan. On the right, basically what you have within the base, because now you have Sanders, who's won almost about 20 primaries, you have the left is basically, if you look at it, dismissing and not towing the line of those old Clinton policies. I mean, one of the things that they've been getting the hardest hit on in the primary is the crime bill, because when it comes to Democrats, baby, we know they love them some crime. I did that crime bill so people vote for me. Now everybody's mad at me. Now I apologize for the crime bill. These people just make me sick, but I've had enough of the Clintons. Coming back on the other side, we're going to talk a little bit about some Chinese war drums beating out in that South China Sea, baby. Stacey and I have touched on it a little bit. Those man-made islands, kids, they look like they're turning into Chinese air bases. What does that mean, JD and Stacey? It means we're in a lot of trouble. But before we pay some bills, JD and Stacey here on Game On, part of that Conservative Commandos Radio Network on that K98 Talk. The show's so big, even Diamond Dave's got to take us to commercial.
One break coming up.
This is Slickery Trigger for Rebel Road Tactical. With proper care and feeding, your pistol will be ready when you need it, there to save your life. Shouldn't your gear be that good? Whether you need a holster for comfortable everyday carry or a tough-as-nails holster for your next training course, Rebel Road Tactical has what you need. Check us out on the web at rebelroadtactical.com.
If you like your health care plan, you'll be able to keep your health care plan. This is the most transparent administration in history. Not even a smidgen of corruption.
Fact is, we had 4 dead Americans. What difference at this point does it make?
If you've got a business, you didn't build that.
The feeling most people get when they hear a Barack Obama speech, I felt this thrill going up my leg. I don't have that too often.
Steady.
It's time to hear the truth about America's biggest challenges. Ricky Robinson, host of America Off the Rails, will tackle the important issues facing America today as he tries to keep America from coming off the track. Get ready to hear the truth every Monday through Friday starting at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, here on K98Talk.com and the Spark Radio Network.
Welcome to the face. Welcome to the face of the new democracy.
Are you conservative in a world of liberal?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Well, you're not alone. Hey, I'm Daniel Stafford, host of the Stafford Voice, and I'd like to invite you to tune in each Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern, where I'll break down the events of the week, and together we'll learn about how they affect you. So, sit back and get ready for the good, the bad, and the ugly of talk radio right here on K98 Talk.
From the Vikings of Norway to my home down south to Washington, D.C., I've been around. I've seen it all, and I've come out on top. You better beware, for all you know, the bell tolls for you. Enter the bell tower or watch your step. 8 p.m. Thursdays, K98 Talk.
Welcome back. JD and Stacey here. Game on, taking you to the noon o'clock hour here on Sunday Eastern Standard Time and that K98 Talk. We are part of that Conservative Commandos Radio Network, and if you're hearing us come back from break, you know exactly what to do. You get over to K98Talk.org right now. You get in that chat room. You say hello to Stacey. She is fully clothed. You look at Ron and you go, "Oy vey schmear, pants on." Smartest, drunkest radio political talking audience in the business, baby. Remember, guys, we're not just live here on K98 Sunday mornings at 11 a.m. Eastern. We do it again Tuesday, Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time. Friday, 5 p.m. We do the drive time leading into that Yahoo Sports little medium market called Philadelphia. Oh, by the way, we also serve Southern Jersey and Northern Delaware. Big whoop. Want to fight about it? That's on the WNJC 1360 AM. Get over to Facebook, Hooples. Go find JD and Stacey's show page. You like it, you go find 10 friends. Have them like it, too. Then after the show, guys, for the rest of the day, not during, you get over to Spreaker.com, #Brown, JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. You find out a catalog of everything we've been doing here with that Ricky Ticky Tommy Rick Robinson, that cantankerous Mr. Trader, and as always, baby, my beautiful and brilliant co-host, that Miss Stacey Lennox. Welcome back, baby. Hello.
We know Beaker's dressed.
Are you having a delay hearing me today?
I have had a little delay once or twice, yeah.
Ah, fantastic. That's how it's going to be, kids. So remember, Stacey didn't get dropped in the head. She just can't hear anything, right? Right?
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Exactly. Beaker's listening to us in church.
Huh?
Beaker's listening to us in church.
Oh, then listen, Mr. O'Donovan, this is just for you. As you have the pastor or the priest or whoever it is that leads your shaman ritual on that Sunday morning, Lord, praise baby Jesus. You have your headphones in while everybody else, Lord, is thinking about their sins. But no, not that Beaker O'Donovan, baby. He knows. Come to the church of that JD and Stacey in the temple of that K98 Talk. Lord, praise Jesus.
Okay, terrific.
If I was him and I was in church and I just heard that, I would wet myself. Oh, my God.
I think he had some misgivings after the weekend update.
Why? If you ever needed to pray for forgiveness, it was after you heard about it.
Exactly. He actually had to log back into chat and say he thinks he's going to hell.
Good God. Williams made a dead Trayvon Martin joke that basically had the bullets hitting the Skittles, and you know what my effed up head saw? Paintball.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Actually, Stacey and I had an interview with George Zimmerman, but the only thing he would say to us is,
Hey, where are the white women at?
Oh, God.
Oh, my good God, that amused
They just need to never print anything about that man again.
Who?
Zimmerman.
You know, let me ask you a serious question, though. With all the nonsensical, chicanery, hoople-headed nonsense, like right now, all the stories are so dark. You and I are the only two that are like...
Our shenanigans are cheeky and fun.
Yeah, I mean, his shenanigans are cruel and tragic.
Which makes them not shenanigans at all, really. Evil shenanigans.
You can't tell me that with all the mishigas and nonsense that's going on in the world, that every 6 or 8 weeks when you hear like George Zimmerman had the hell beat out of him by his new girlfriend and is in the hospital, that doesn't at least go, oh my God. I remember when the world was a simpler place and really stupid Latino men used to shoot young black men with Skittles and iced tea. Your daddy's America. You started this.
I'm sorry. Terrific.
You started this. You're going to try and teach the people something nice about the South China Sea. And,
there's nothing nice going on in the South China Sea.
And this is, I want to. Stacey and I have a website coming up. Maybe we'll start doing it on the Facebook page. I think I want to keep a running tally of all of the serious world events that are going on and juxtapose it with the things that are being covered in the U.S. national media. Yes, they should be covering the election because it's the election, and that's what it is. But the problem is...
They should not be covering every tweet Donald Trump makes.
That's right. And what they should be covering are major world events, and the ones that are affected by superpowers that are nuclear, who are not very friendly to the U.S., should be one of them. I want to give a hat tip to this subject to John Batchelor. For those of you who don't know who he is, you can find him on Twitter at Batchelor Show. Just one of the smartest, most interesting people on radio. And several years ago, if you ever have me say, "Hi, I'm John Batchelor. I'm broadcasting live from the South China Sea. How are we, Selena?" And Selena Zito said I actually do a better John Batchelor than John Batchelor. The Chinese started basically dropping rocks in the water. And
big rocks.
Big rocks. And specifically when I say in the water, this was within the South China Sea. And you've had this story over the last few years about these quote-unquote man-made islands that are being constructed, well, at this point, are complete and are being expanded by the Chinese in the South China Sea.
Now they have runways and stuff.
Where's the South China Sea, Stacey? Why should we care about that? The South China Sea, if you think about the size of China itself, the South China Sea is south of the mainland of China, and it's east of Laos, Vietnam, Thailand, and Cambodia, and it runs down to about Malaysia and Indonesia. The Philippines come up on it on basically the eastern side. And in that small sea, a good portion of Asian trade is represented. And Asian trade, and most trade in the world, is basically moved by ship. So these man-made islands that we've been speaking about have now been built out into full-on military airstrips, correct, Miss Lennox? Why do you think they'd be doing this?
Well, they're doing it because they have claimed that as their own sea space. In other words, they're ignoring the normal rules of international waters. They are affecting the route that I think I read 80% of Japan's energy is transported through. 60.
Yeah.
You know, and when you take a look at it, they are they're becoming just very imperialistic.
And it's not just that the Chinese have always had an imperial bent, whether you want to look at the way that they look at Taiwan as a one-China policy, the rest of the civilized world, if you want to call it that, or the Western nations look at it as a two-China policy. But in this particular case, I want to juxtapose it with what the Russians have been doing to our naval vessels. You've read about them with the flybys of the jets and basically screaming across the top of the carriers. They have some of these passes and provocations by the Russians and their fighter planes on the U.S. Navy ships are what, I forget what the term of it is, but the planes are actually flying below the level of the bridge of the ship. So
that's buzzing.
Right. So buzzing. There's a specific term that when it's under the bridge.
Oh.
And the Chinese have started to do the same. And there's a fascinating. I've done a lot of reading on this. I thought one of the best put-togethers of it was on QZ.com, and the name of the article is "Beijing is Setting the Stage for War in the South China Sea." You now have, which I hadn't heard heavily reported, the Chinese doing the same thing to American aircraft. Well, why are the Chinese buzzing the aircraft out there? I don't understand that. It's very simple, Bob. China is a nation of about 1 billion people, and about 30 or 40 years ago, the majority of this country were agrarian farmers that, forget about what you think of as a Western poverty level, were living in a pre-20th century agrarian economy. And after the second half of the 20th century, the Chinese had a very big military and economic buildup, and they've built themselves out a middle class. Now, I want you to think about something. You have to put politics, geopolitics, and everything else aside for a second. When you have a country of 1 billion people, and you have a socialist or a communist system, these people need to be fed. When you've allowed a middle class to develop over the past few decades, these people need to be fed well. Now, let's go back to the man-made islands in the South China Sea where the Chinese are now putting warplanes in order to basically claim sovereignty in a waterway that they don't have any. And the reason they're doing this is twofold. One is to basically control trade in the region. And I want everybody right now who's listening to the show to grab an article of anything near you, within arm's reach, and I want you to take a look at where it was made. Most likely, it's coming from one of the countries that the Chinese are now claiming sovereignty in that waterway. And the way those goods are shipped, those goods are transported, are across the water by ship. Now, I said to Stacey, it was either this morning, I think it was last night because we didn't speak this morning, or maybe it was this morning. The thing that I found most frightening is if you take the fact that this is the 20th century away and everything we know about modern and conventional warfare, one of the reasons it seems that these islands were built to project this force for the Chinese in the South China Sea is because they're also, when it comes to their diet, a primarily fish-based diet. And the Chinese fishing fleet has so overfished their close coastal waters that they are forced, not because they want to, forced to travel further outside Chinese sovereign waters into the sovereign waters of other countries in order just to fish to bring it back to China. Now, China has been using some of their force projection and these warplanes from those islands in order to defend those fishing fleets. Now, there's an air of geopolitics to it where a lot of experts believe that the Chinese government is actually having their fishing fleets push the limits of these other countries' sovereign territorial waters because the Chinese look to be gearing up for a war in this region and are actually looking to be provoked. But to my mind, there is a scarier proposition to this, Stacey. And when you take a look at the fact, if you take out the fact that it's the 21st century and all the geopolitics, this is a country of 1 billion people whose government is of a communist construct, which needs to continue to feed these people. So for all our elevated and lofty talks about what we're going to do in the world, people really aren't speaking that you honestly could have a military action, if not a full-blown war, from a China that is literally looking to expand the ability to feed its people. And if you look throughout recorded time, whether it was when we were living in caves or whether it is today as we live in skyscrapers in Manhattan, when organized nation states can't feed their people, war is about to ensue.
Oh, definitely that is, I believe, part of it. And, the Philippines was exceptionally worried about that. And that was one of the reasons we were doing joint exercises with them to kind of back it off a little bit. It doesn't seem, though, that China is open to or really participating in the global order in terms of how these decisions are made and international law that governs it. I mean, the Chinese diplomat essentially went into the G7 and threatened them and said, nope, don't think so.
And not only that, if you go back, the Chinese specific, if you want to see, because of our politics and the nature of our presidential terms, the United States as the most powerful country on the planet basically puts its foreign policy up for debate and change about every 4 years. Mm-hmm. The Chinese and the Politburo over there, in contrast, basically have 50 and 100-year outlooks on things. And if you don't believe me, where they are pushing in the South China Sea right now, they are standing on claims from some silly, what is referred to as 9-dash line that was made on a map right after World War II. This is further along in QZ. China bases its sea claim on a, quote, 9-dash line that it drew on a map after World War II. Never mind that the line conflicts with international norms and overlapping claims by nearby nations, to Stacey's point, including the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia, nations whose coasts are much closer to the disputed seas than China's. China's. It goes on. The strategic waterway is one of the most important oil and natural gas transport choke points in the world. In the world. Geopolitical analyst Tim Dass wrote this week in Forbes, passing through it each year, he noted, are almost 60% of Japan and Taiwan's energy supplies and 80% of China's crude oil imports. Not only have nations gone to war over less, but this happens to be a nuclear-powered one.
Mm-hmm. Well, and not only that, that waterway has its own oil and gas reserves that haven't been tapped yet.
Absolutely. And what I thought was fascinating is there's a proposition and a posit here of how the Chinese would go about provoking a military conflict that would be advantageous to them in the South China Sea in order to either claim territorial waterways or even, possibly worse, to actually claim some mainland that isn't there. To acquire the sea's strategic advantage, though, China first needs to establish control over the waterway. That needs to be done step by step. The process might go something like this, and they had a 5-point list in the article, and it is frightening because most of them have already happened. 1, make the sea claim. We can check that off. 2, create outposts in the sea and work toward turning them into military bases. We can check that off. 3, express outrage if anyone goes near those outposts. Over time, establish a pattern of being repeatedly provoked. Despite your patient warnings, your outposts aren't quite military bases yet anyway, so this is a good use of your time in the meantime. We can check that off. The Chinese have done that. 4, as your outposts get closer to becoming real military bases, feel free to grow more strident in your responses to the provocations. Please see Chinese warplanes buzzing naval warships. So let's check off number 4. Number 5, once your military infrastructure is fairly up to speed, you're ready for war. You even have a track record of provocations to point to for justification. Of course, you don't have to start a conflict, but it's nice to know you can at any time and feel justified about it. We have 4 of the 5 boxes checked. It looks like we're heading to number 5. But before we do that, baby, JD and Stacey are going to head to one last break, then we're going to take you to the top of the noon o'clock Eastern Standard Time hour. We got Nonsense of the World coming up and more. You have any finishing thoughts on the Chinese and the South China Sea before we pay some bills?
It's a very, very scary proposition. They aren't coming together with any international bodies to try to sort it out. So,
oh, I don't know, baby. You ever hear the way them Chinese party? I hear there's bodies all over the place. Coming back, we got Nonsense of the World. I forgot that there was a limo that blessed into fame with prom kids, but don't worry about it. They all safe, just like JD and Stacey coming back in 2.5 minutes.
Hey everybody, this is Jason, host of According to Me. I'd like to invite you to check out my show. It's a 2-hour show that lasts 60 minutes in...
Listen, I hate to interrupt, but one thing I can do is read off a script. Just say, let me be clear a lot. It works.
President Obama, I can handle this. It's a radio promo. I'm not green. I've done this before.
Did someone say green?
Now, Al Gore is here. Listen, I'm just trying to record a radio promo. Do you mind?
Now, do you say good things about me on the show?
No, not at all. But if it makes you feel any better, I rip on Republicans just as much.
The AM radio frequencies give off very high levels of radiation.
Look, my show is on the internet, which you invented. Can I just do my promo?
I got a pen. I can veto that, you know.
I know you got a pen. It's not a law. It's a radio promo. Listen, just listen to my show. Barack Obama and Al Gore hate it, so you're going to love it.
Here's an executive order. Don't listen to his show. He doesn't like me. He's racist. And he doesn't recycle either.
That's it. I'm done. It's According to Me, Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here on K98 Talk.
I'm easy like Sunday morning.
Wondering why you're up early with us on a Sunday morning making a cocktail? News lately got you drinking? Hung over from the mainstream media by Sunday? We are, and we got you covered.
We sure do. We got your hangover cure for those weekly news blues. So sit back, top off your mimosa, and add some Baileys to that coffee.
Take a match to your copy of the New York Times. Light, funny, and oh yeah, news with booze.
And a lot of laughter.
Welcome to Bloody Marys and Broadsheets. If it's Sunday, it's Bloody Marys and Broadsheets.
We're your cure from your weekly news hangover.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members or their families, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to keep them secure for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Join us at findwwp.org.
K98 Talk is expanding its lineup for 2015. This means we are expanding our advertising base. Whether you're a startup trying to push through to the next level, or an established business trying to supplement your advertising budget, web-based advertising is a solid investment. Thanks to Talk's newest partnership with TuneIn Radio and instant access to our sister station, K98 FM, we give you worldwide access at a reasonable cost. Interested parties should email us at sales@k98fm.com.
Welcome back, truckers, suckers, and bad. JD and Stacey here, K98 Talk. Game on, part of that Conservative Commandos Radio Network. Everybody right now, I hope you topped off your drink. You tightened up your stink. You help whatever help make you think. Because right now, you got to get over to K98Talk.org. Get in that chat room. One of our listeners right now, she's claiming she's holding her husband's wood. I swear to God, you got to get over there and check it out. Remember, guys, we're not just live here Sunday morning, 11 a.m. We're live again, K98, Tuesday, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Friday, 5 p.m. We're the drive time leading to that Yahoo Sports, to that 1360 WNJC, baby, serving Philadelphia, Southern Jersey, Northern Delaware. What are you doing after the show, Hooples? You're getting over to Spreaker.com, Hash Brown, JD and Stacey, JDANDSTACEY. Going to find out a catalog of everything we've been doing here at K98 Talk. Then you're going to get over to Facebook. You're going to find the JD and Stacey page. You're going to like that. You're going to give us 40 bazillion likes. Wah, wah, wah. The chat room is going out of control, is it not? Hello?
It is.
Okay,
no, that was my mute button. I'm sorry.
Do we really have that much of a delay today? Do we really have that much of a delay?
No, that was me forgetting I put it on mute.
Oh, because why put the Post-it up note? That's our budget, folks. We can't even afford Post-it notes for Stacey to remember to unmute herself. Before we go on to nonsense of the world, let's wrap. Why do you think? Is it because that we don't have foreign bureaus? Is it because, to Ben Rhodes' point when he was speaking about how they hoodwinked the administration on the Iran deal to sell it to people, the average reporter is 27, only has experience from political campaigns and really knows, quote-unquote, nothing about anything. The fact that what we were just talking about in the South China Sea, the fact that these are not beginning to be built, but they're already built out, and the fact that it is not part of the mainstream media conversation just boggles my mind. Why?
Well, we talked to Judith Miller a lot about that when she was on. I mean, the reason she is so schooled and savvy when it comes to politics in the Middle East is because she spent time there, and you don't have people doing that anymore. You rely on foreign writers or contractors who fund themselves and then sell what they write. You don't maintain the ties within the countries themselves.
You read, but you got what you do is sometimes then you end up relying on JD and Stacey for your news.
Boom, boom, boom. Now they often call me Speedo, but my real name is me.
One more reason to like Uncle Speedo from the LA Times. Welcome to the Bernie Sanders Wiccan ritual. Oh my God, witches for Uncle Speedo. Attending a rally for Bernie Sanders usually involves long lines and security screenings, but that wasn't the case at an intimate, informal event Friday evening supporting the Vermont Senator's presidential campaign in a park here. Instead of metal detectors, entrance required burning ceremonial sweetgrass. That sounds like a requirement to get into a Grateful Dead concert. Participants were smudged, meaning the smoke from the sweetgrass was wafted over the sweetgrass. Did these people sit in the park and what's the thing with in the church with the smoke and the benediction? Were they giving each other a benediction with weed? What the hell's going on here?
It's actually literally sweetgrass, and it actually is literally called being smudged. It's supposed to be cleansing, apparently. And they came into the sacred circle and started, chanting for Bernie.
All the way.
All you had to do was bring a can of food.
You think it went something like this? This is my favorite line of this article. A patent agent has already hosted beanies for Bernie's knitting parties and helped out at the Senator's rallies. But she had never performed a Wiccan ritual for Sanders before, and if it was going to happen somewhere, it would be here in Portland, a place she described as much more welcoming community than where she grew up in Michigan. I don't even know where did you look into how large the witch vote demographic is? I mean, is Uncle Speedo onto something here?
I don't know, but she didn't just say, Wiccans. She said pagans and atheists and all non-traditional religions were welcome to her event.
Looking in the chat room, am I the only one who didn't know that sweetgrass was sage and just assumed it was weed?
It's quite possible.
Sweetgrass, man, fully. All right, I know that Stacey.
I mean, I don't think they were smoking weed because they shared lemonade at the end. I think they're a little.
Let me ask you a question. You ever smoke weed? You got cotton mouth and you want something sweet. That's a twofer right there.
Oh, okay.
Okay, terrific.
All right, so because I always want to make sure that I have, topics in this that Stacey likes too. Stacey loves to sell some Twitter stories, so I figured for this one.
Giggity, 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 let's have sex.
That's not the one. This is what I wanted. Evidently, baby, that Barack Obama, he a Twitter account be following some porn stars, huh, baby?
That's what it says. It's not his it's not his Twitter account. I guess it's the one that's actually run by OFA. But you would think they would actually have some guidelines or something about what accounts to follow. And it's not like they follow small porn accounts or they did it by accident. These are relatively large, 600,000 follower accounts that like to take off their clothes on screen.
Who the hell is following porn people on Twitter? Who?
Well, Organizing for Action is.
I mean, what are they? Is this like a bunch of college interns sitting around whacking their bag when they're supposed to be sending out fundraising emails?
Probably.
Oh,
no,
my God.
No. The at Barack Obama account has been more around Unite Blue and stuff like that, so it's more activism than fundraising.
Barack Obama's been screwing 330 million people for the past 8 years, baby. Anybody surprised that he follows porn stars?
Okay, terrific.
All right. Dead brains or burning limo?
I think the burning limo is a fun story.
You're so sick. Stacey,
nobody got hurt.
Stacey,
I was reading it. I'm like, you're kidding me.
No, well,
he sends me a story about a bunch of teenagers' limo exploding. Kids must have died, but nobody died, so it's kind of funny.
Oh, come on.
Nobody even got hurt.
Eddie Vedder made a gold record about a song about a girl getting killed in a car accident. But yes, I did look to make sure that nobody got killed. This is from CBS News in Massachusetts. I parked the car out of a yard. Limo carrying prom-bound teens burst into flames. A limousine on the way to a high school prom burst into flames in Massachusetts Friday night. 10 teens were headed to the Natick High School prom when flames started shooting from the passenger seat of the limo. Everyone was able to get out safely. Quote, it started to get really big and it looked like it was going to explode. Now, for those of you who have been in limousines to go to the prom, let me ask you a question. When you were 16 or 17 years old and half drunk in the back of the limousine with whatever you weren't supposed to be drinking mixed into whatever mixes you had so the limo driver didn't take everything and dump it out so he lost his license, and then you went and you turned down those little limo track lighting and you got your date with you, baby, and you got your arm around your baby. This is prom night, baby. You've been waiting for this. You were ready. She said, I don't know if I'm ready. Maybe on prom night. You're like, yeah, baby, we're going to be dancing, having steaks, and then the car you're in bursts into flames. Burst into flames. That has to be some kind of sign, no?
I would say it's some kind of sign. But, I mean, in the pictures of it, the thing is, like, completely burnt out. But they were able to catch a ride, and they actually did get to go to the prom. So, thank goodness no one was hurt. But something they will definitely be able to talk about for many years to come.
Oh, my God. So, Mommy, how did you meet Daddy? Oh, we were at the prom, and we were on the way to the prom in the limo, and your dad got me so hot. Oh, my God, Mommy. No, the car burst on fire. All right, Vocative, what's going on with Dead Brains Back to Life? Is this what we were talking about, like storing grandma in your hard drive?
Yeah, I don't know if it's storing grandma on your hard drive, but it's actually a new drug that's been developed by an India-based biotech company that uses stem cells and a couple of other, hormones and things. And they're hoping to have those stem cells actually become neurons. So they're going to test them in the brains of patients that are already brain dead.
So doesn't that make you wait? If you're testing things that are brain dead, doesn't that make you doesn't that make your neuron a moron, baby? You got one of them neurons? I mean, come on, baby. Yeah. That's the moron, baby.
This is one of those things that just makes you go, why? But
hold on. Do you doubt my medical knowledge? This is scientifically called the moron neuron. You didn't know that? You know when they say,
I did not know that.
You know when people, as a matter of fact, in this story, what I found is that when they jumped the dead brain to find out what was going on, you ever hear that people say, "Oh my God, you got 2 brain cells left," and they're each fighting for each other? Well, it's actually true. So when they were able to track this back, they found the last 2 brain cells, and they were all like,
"Everybody was kung fu fighting. Those kids were fast as lightning."
Okay, terrific.
Come on! It was Kung Fu Fighting, baby, so that must mean the fastest hour in conservative radio is just wrapped up. We want to thank everybody for joining us today. We hope you join us again Tuesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, live for another edition of Game On. Old listeners, new listeners, everybody in between. For those of you who are new to the show, this is the point in the program where I turn to my beautiful and brilliant co-host and I go, baby girl, baby girl, baby girl. You got those keys?
Oh, Lord, get me out of here.
Let's go.
Go.
Tell the nice people where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at ScottsFire, SCOTSFYRE, and on Facebook at Stacey Lennox.
And you can find me at Game On JD on the Twitters. Now that the show page is up, I'm there a little more JD on the Facebook. But if you really want to find me, you got to get those bar stools, alleyways, shitty situations. I'm back to the midget talk. You know I got a bulletproof vest. Take a shot at me, all of you. If I live through it, I'll see you Tuesday.
I'm looking for you, you Occupy freaks with your glitter bombs. Bring it on! Bring on the glitter. Everything has changed. Everything has changed in the last few years. Conservatives used to take it, and we're not taking it anymore.
If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com. If you want to work until you keel over, have less of everything in retirement, or give back more of your hard-earned money to the stock market again, then just ignore me. But if you'd like to protect the money you save, receive a steady, predictable retirement income, and enjoy financial security for as long as you live, then listen to this. You can download a free report that reveals the wealth-building secrets Wall Street and the banks don't want you to know. You'll learn how you can get guaranteed growth, safety, and real prosperity without risking your money in the Wall Street casino, and how to get the money you need when you need it, simply by asking for it. This is the best way to have a 100% secure retirement, and know your money will last as long as you do. To learn more about this method, and to get your free report, go to 29security.com. That's the number 29security.com. 29security.com. Go to 29security.com.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.